Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here to talk about the upcoming Microsoft Surface Duo 2 and the biggest thing that Microsoft needs to fix for this phone to be successful. And it's not what you think. Of course, we've seen the stuff that's out there. I'm a little late to talking about this, but I've been covering the Z Flip and the Fold. But I really enjoyed, for the most part, the original Duo, with the exception of the fact that Microsoft abandoned it and it has hardware issues and the software is incomplete and it's very fragile. But I'm still hopeful for the next one, but I have some serious concerns that need to be addressed, and one of them is Microsoft's commitment to the device. I was very, very, very disappointed with the way that Microsoft handled the Microsoft Surface Duo. There was a lot of fanfare for this device out in like the tech community and the market. People generally really like this design. Like, the design is top notch as far as what you actually get from a multitasking perspective, but it's still running Android 10 when the rest of the world is running Android 11 and fixing to start getting Android 12. And you've seen the prices across the market have been slashed from basically $1,400, $1,500 to about $400. And Microsoft has mostly just been crickets, and it's ridiculous that this phone is essentially on life support basically from like 4 months into the project. So what I think they need to fix for the next one is their reputation. And we're going to talk about that in this video. But before we get into that, I do want to say, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now let's talk about Microsoft and the Duo 2. So I've been really excited for the Duo 2 since the first one came out. And I gave some of the other big reviewers flack because when it first came out, even people like MKBHD were like, this is a great first product, but I'm already ready for the second one. I wasn't really at that point. I really enjoyed it when it first came out, but I kind of expected things to get better, and things kind of got a little bit better after about 6 months. I ended up returning mine because it had hardware issues. My screen had kind of started to like bend and flex a little bit, and I was very worried about that. So after about a month, I sent it back, and I said, this is too much. There's too much liability here for $1,400 or $1,500, whatever it was. So Interstage right, I got another one a couple of months ago when they fire saled, and I got it for like $600. I feel like it's a pretty good phone at that price. Even with my Surface Pen Slim, I really enjoy using it for certain things. It's a very nice multitasking device when it works properly. But it's very obvious that they've mothballed this phone already, and it seems like the phone was mothballed on arrival. They were so slow to getting things fixed. There was a lot of app problems. There was a lot of just regular software issues. A lot of people gave this phone flack and really, really hammered on it, and rightfully so. And of all things, it shouldn't have happened. It's Microsoft. They're the biggest software company in the world. Now, I get it. Some people say, well, they pivoted. It wasn't supposed to be originally a phone, and it wasn't supposed to have Android, and then they switched it to Android. Well, I don't care. It took them like 2 years to produce a piece of trash, at least from the get-go. So by the time it actually hit the market, it still wasn't a finished product, and I would wager to say now that it's still not even a complete product. It still has issues from time to time. But the biggest thing that Microsoft needs to do to make the Surface Duo a success is to rehabilitate their image. And they're going to have to do that by launching it with a good price. They're going to have some sort of a commitment up front to people. And two, they need to give people a lot of trade-in value for the Surface Duo. The Surface Duo is not what people were hoping it was going to be. This phone has the opportunity to. And it's been on Geekbench already. It's already been tested hardware-wise. Snapdragon 888, that's good. I'm happy to see that. Yet, again, they're coming out at the end of the year when the Snapdragon 888 Plus should be out. At least they're not 2 years behind offering a Snapdragon 855 when everyone else is on the 865 Plus. So, at least they got that semi-right. It's going to have 8 gigs of RAM. It's going to have supposedly a 3-camera setup on the back. I hope they can manage to get it to work properly because, I mean, that's not really their forte or their expertise, but that's neither here nor there. There's no way it can be worse than this. So, also, they need to do things like reinforce the charging port. This is plastic. You put a metal charging plug in there, yeah, it's prone to break. So there are some things they didn't think through very well when it came to the original Surface Duo, but there are a large group of people out there that actually really love this phone. I'm one of them. I like it. I appreciated what they tried to do, but they fell very, very short, and then I kind of figured they scrapped it already because they're working on the new one, and why divide up something on a phone that's already basically failed from the get-go they basically cut bait and run. And Microsoft's very good at doing that. I mean, look at Microsoft Millennium Edition. I mean, that was a total disaster. So Microsoft has a long history of having too much money and not enough commitment to their own products. And that's what we need. We really needed to see some really firm software support and some updates and some things to actively try and, take care of this phone prior to a new one coming out. But instead, it's like they threw it to the wayside and they just started on plan B. I think that, yeah, the Surface Duo is probably going to be a significantly better device. It'll probably get much more critical acclaim. Hopefully, they've gone back to the drawing board and they are going to fix some of these issues. That's really all I can really say. And the best thing that they can do is price it well enough to get people in the door to buy it. There's so many other lucrative options out there now. I mean, look, you can get the Microsoft Z Flip 3, which I know this is not in the same space. They're going after enterprise. But that's only going to get them so far. They need other people to go out and buy this phone. And if people are buying Z Flip 3s for $999, if they're buying iPhone 11 Pros for $999, if they're still holding on to their Surface Duo they got for $400, you're going to have a hard time convincing people to hop on board. So they need to offer very aggressive initiatives. They need to have a good marketing campaign. They need to reassure people they are committed to this phone. Because if they're not, this is their last chance. Like, if they make another flub product and then they don't support it and update it like they're supposed to, they're done. And I would wager that some people are so turned off by the original Surface Duo, they won't want to invest in it until later on down the road, till they see what goes on with it. At this point in time, I would be, if I were a tech person, there's no way I would buy this on day one. And I wouldn't recommend anybody else do it. So I'm going to get it. I'm going to test it whenever it gets here so I can tell people whether it's any good or not. But I have serious concerns after what they've done with the original Microsoft Surface Duo. So we'll see what happens. It's one of those things where it's like the writing is not completely on the wall. They're Microsoft. If they were a startup company, there wouldn't be a second phone. Microsoft just buys themselves second chances because, well, they're the largest software company in the world and they're Microsoft. Their Windows is everywhere. So if they can make this work, though, when this does work properly, like when the Surface Duo is in its element and you're using Microsoft Office Suite and you're using the Surface Pen, it can be a really enjoyable and productive experience until the screen goes wonky or it doesn't want to let you log in with the fingerprint sensor and it freezes up or one of the screens turns off. I've had any number of issues with this phone ever since I got it, but because if I held on to this from $1,500, I would be very, very less happy with it. The only reason that I'm more happy with it now is because I went back and got it for $600. So it's at $600, I think it's fair. If they can get the new one in at $999, this thing can't be more than $1,100. If they try to shoot for $1,400, $1,500 again, they're going to be met with a serious lack of enthusiasm for this product, and they've got to get people to buy in on this. And I don't think that the Enterprise, I think that's why that they dropped it. This was supposed to be a Enterprise phone, and then no Enterprise picked it up. I think they realized very quickly after Enterprise didn't want to pick it up that, okay, we need to go back to the drawing board. I think mostly people have, as far as the form factor and as far as what it brings to the table for multitasking, I think people are really down with that. It's really nice. I think in some areas it's better than the Fold. And I enjoyed this better than my original Fold. So there are certain things about it that I think they could really, really hammer in and make really appealing to the professional business sector, but also the private sector as well, because people like this whole folding phone concept. They like this whole two screens thing. It's really nice to be able to fire it up and have YouTube on one side, have an Excel spreadsheet or Internet Explorer or Edge, whatever they call it now, which I don't use it, I use Chrome, but you get where I'm going. There are some really cool things that you can do with it, plus having the Surface Pen support. It's nice because that works across your laptop and also your phone. They can really, really nail this and hit it out of the park. I hope that they succeed with it. I hope it's going to be good because I want it to work. I really do. But what's keeping it from working is Microsoft. So we'll see what they do with it. Again, I'm hopeful, but I'm hesitant at the same time, and I would be very cautious about this from the get-go. So that's all I've got on this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.